I'm sanding the last trim piece.
Woo!
We're done.
We're done. We've been sanding for what, 2 weeks now?
Weeks. Yeah, we've been sanding for a long time. My elbows are hurting.
You got an elbow workout.
Ugh. All right, tomorrow
We're staying.
we stain. It has been a minute since we've really picked up the camera and vlogged, and we've done a lot, and yet it feels like so little.
Because it was one thing, pretty much.
Yeah, so let me show you. I'll flash a picture on the screen what the giant vent used to look like. That's gone. Jared's done a really good job patching the floor. I'm thinking when we refinish and stain, it'll look really good. He replaced a huge broken board there, replaced a vent here and did more patchwork, patched another vent there, and another vent there. So you may be wondering, do we have any vents? And the answer is yes. Jared's parents came over and helped rearrange all the ductwork, and we made new vents in the flooring. So there's a new one, there's a new one, there's a new one, and there's a new one. The reason we did that was because the registers were just too big.
And in the way.
And in the way.
It would be fine if this vent was over here.
Yeah.
But it was right in the middle of the walkway.
Same with this one over here. It took up half the walk space in this doorway. That's awesome to have those gone. All the trim work has been sanded. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. We decided to paint this one. 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 windows / doorways. That took us weeks. I had...
In the kitchen, at least, it was painted, like 2 or 3 coats of paint, and then sealed, stained. There was a lot to get through.
There was a lot to get through. And there were so many cat scratches up these posts, and they dug in deep. And they weren't just at the bottom too, like some of them were like all the way up here. I'm assuming there was a table that the cats could jump on and scratch. I didn't want to just have to buff those out and just patch stain that.
It
and
wouldn't have matched.
yeah, I felt like we had to redo all of them down here. So today our goal is to clean up because there is so much dust from sanding.
I'm so excited for there not to be dust.
We're just so happy to be done sanding. Oh, it was a nightmare. We bought 10 different stain samples because we could not pick one. Why does it look red? Whoa.
Oh gosh, that's so dark. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Ew. Ew. But it just looks like it's molding.
I was kind of hoping to go for a different look, but we're actually gonna end up going with one very similar to what it was before. This is what happens when you don't move anything while you sand. Say a little prayer that this stain looks okay. These look nice. Please look nice. I did shake it more than that. I didn't just...
Did you shake it for 30 seconds?
Shut up, leave me alone.
Okay. She's just going for it. I think it's gonna look nice.
I love it. I am actually really happy with how that looks.
Yeah, me too. It looks really nice.
Okay, so here's the original trim. That's what it looked like. And it is very similar, but it's less red. But yeah, I like how that looks. I was like really nervous about that.
Yeah, me too.
Really nervous. Okay, now I'm actually excited to do the rest of them.
No!
Hi!
No! New. Old.
We got all the trim stained. Look, stain. Isn't that nice? I love how it turned out. There are some weird pieces of paint that like we just could not get out, so we're gonna have to play around with that tomorrow before we seal. It's just a really interesting wood, and the stain really accentuates it, I think.
Accentuates.
And it's just pine. I think it looks really neat. Ugh, I hate the orange. We walked into a nice surprise this morning. It didn't stink. It smelled like stain.
Yeah.
The stain overpowers the smell of stench.
I'd rather smell stain
Yeah.
any day.
Today we're gonna put a polyurethane seal over the trim, but first, let me show you what I bought. So I told you already that there's some spots in here that need touched up. I bought some craft paint, a couple different colors. I might end up blending them a little bit. Let me show you the brushes I bought. Bam! These were the cheapest ones I could find. I've done this before with craft paint. In our last house, we laid flooring down. There were a few areas that didn't quite reach the trim. And so instead of fixing it the right way, I just filled it with caulk in the floor, and then I painted the caulk to match the rest of the flooring. Nobody's gonna know.
It looked really good.
It looked really good. It's just gonna take a while is all.
Perfection takes time.
It's definitely a lot less noticeable.
Yeah, than white.
The taping has begun. Stop just falling over every time I film you. Okay, so I have a paint sprayer. I think we're gonna use the paint sprayer in these big rooms, so the living room and the dining room, the kitchen over there. But I think we're gonna roll on paint in here. I don't know why exactly, it just makes sense in my mind to do that. I think just because there's so much stuff in here that would need taped off, rolling sounds like it would be faster. But in here, where there's more wall space than trim, we're gonna spray.
Not my belly.
See our paint samples. We were gonna go with something a little lighter, like this. Well, actually, we thought it was gonna be darker than what it turned out to be. So we went with this. I think it's gonna be chef's kiss.
I'm glad I told you to go darker.
Yeah, that was actually Jared's idea, to go a little bit darker, more drama. We're also getting ahead of ourselves just a little bit. Very anxious to paint, but we forgot that there's some sanding that still needs done on the plaster that I was patching. So Jared's doing that. Some of the corners need caulked all the way up and down because there's some pretty big gaps there. So I'm gonna do that. Stop. Okay, so good and bad news. Good news. I feel like we got a lot done today. Taped off several windows, door frames, sanded all of the plaster that I patched, caulked all the corners that needed caulked, but we keep finding more things that need done before we paint. All of the baseboard needs a new scrubbing and then caulked. All the baseboard in every single room. Here, 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 there, upstairs. All the windows upstairs and door frames need taped off. We might be further away from painting than we thought. So that's kind of a bummer. So for a while, we might just put our nose to the grindstone and work on getting all that tedious stuff done. And then maybe we'll pick up the camera once we're ready to paint.